Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of It's Messy, but It's So Good, the podcast that explores journeys of individuals following their passion and expanding through life's challenges. And today my guest is Alison Pandora. And Alison was such a joy to interview. I so appreciated her exuberance, her story. She actually was born and adopted in northern New Jersey, and she's on a journey of self-acceptance and discovery. She was raised in a strict Jehovah Witnesses household, and now she channels her experiences into personal growth through yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. She runs a business, which is a wellness business called Alignment 17, and she offers these practices to local communities. Enjoy the show. Welcome everyone to It's Messy, but It's So Good. And today my lovely guest is Alison Pandora. Welcome, Alison.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's
Happy to be here.
Yes. And I want to introduce Alison. She has a business and it's a wellness business. It's called Alignment 17, and she shares yoga, meditation, and mindfulness practices. And she's focusing a lot on local communities. So I would love to hear about your journey, how you got to this place where you want to share what's so needed by us all, with communities, with individuals. I'd love to hear your journey.
Oh, I'm gonna pick and choose here, because like a lot of people, I thought I would never be here, ever. Um, in a past life, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness,
Mm.
and all this type of spiritual stuff is like pretty much a no-no in that situation. So I was very different than, well, most of my friends and everything like that. When it comes to everything, saluting the flag, the holidays, I couldn't hang out with people. I couldn't take the dance classes, things like that. But what I did do um, was, it was a very strict religion, but they focused on things like public speaking. I had to knock on these strangers' doors and speak. I had to get on stages. I had to answer with a microphone. I had to read these Bible names that I never knew even existed. And I have to say that that really did play a part in who I am today. I like to take all the good out of a situation that I can and just leave whatever, I need to leave. So I I played that game a lot with that. I do that a lot with that background with myself. So as I moved on with life, I did have a friend her mom was an astrologer. She was taking yoga classes, and I was like, oh, no, no, that's not for me. No, no, no. So it was kind of around. And then one day she did a breathing exercise with me, and she's like, let's just breathe. And we were living in Denville at the time, and in this room we called a pillow room. We had pillows all over the floor, and we sat on the floor because honestly, furniture couldn't fit in there. We we had no money, so we made it something. And she hewed a breath, and something happened that I can still not explain till this day. And I saw a woman floating to my left. It's like I can still see it, and she had long, beautiful gray hair. And I saw her and I said, that's it. Stop this. Cut this. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to do it. I felt like the room was shaking. And for years, yeah, that was it. I closed that door. No, thank you. And then I was living on my own. I didn't talk to my family. Life was just lifing. And I went to the library and I saw a DVD, Baron Baptiste. It's bringing it back. And I took that DVD home, and he wasn't too hokey, which I liked. He wasn't into the what we call woo-woo stuff today, which I'm all into that now. But he just talked about doing the poses, and then he said a few words that I didn't understand, and I could not describe the feeling, but it was amazing. So I did that DVD every day, 3, 4 times a day, renewed it, renewed it, renewed it. Had to pay a big fee at the library, and that was where I was. And then that same girlfriend told me, she goes, "I think you should go to hot yoga." And I was like, "Oh wow, no, that's terrible. I'm always hot. Like I'm always sweating at least. Like as soon as get hot, I start sweating." And she's like, "I think you should just go." And something told me to go outside of her. I was like, let me just go. And I went and I loved it. And I connected with a teacher whose name was also Allison. Her name is Alison Bernasco. And I felt like she was speaking to me in class. And I was speaking out loud because I had no idea it was quiet or anything. Like I would just answer back, I'd ask questions, and it was a freeness about it for me. um at hot yoga at that time, I felt like all the ick, it felt like green sludge that was inside of me. I got to go to class, wring it out, sweat it out, go home and wash it off. There
Mm.
was something very therapeutic about that for me, and I got addicted. I paid my rent and I went to yoga.
Yeah.
Because it just did something for me that I can't fully explain still. Yes, settle my nervous system now that I know that, because I had so much that I was carrying with me. And I believe it allowed me to drop some things off as well without even mentally processing that. And of course, I was going to therapy at the time as well. I was going to school at night, working full time, but it didn't feel as heavy when I had that yoga practice. It felt manageable.
Mm.
Uh, so I did that for a while. And then my teacher went to a school called Kripalu, and I would ask about it. And she's like, "Oh, it's wonderful. You live there for a month." And I was like, "Check. No, I don't have a month." And then she's like, "Oh, it's in the Berkshires. I can't get there." Oh, blah 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 blah. And then she's like, "Well, if you really want to like do something with this," she's like, "I suggest you go there." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that's not going to happen." And she's like, "Well, why don't you just start writing it down?" And I was like, "Oh wow, woo woo stuff. No, thank you. That's weird." But I journaled. So I
Mm.
started at the end of my journaling, I would say, I want to go to Kripalu. I'd even written real small.
Yeah.
And then I just start, I want to go to Kripalu. And that turned into me speaking about it to people. I want to go. And then I would say, but I can't go. You block yourself right away. I can't go. Don't have the money. Don't have the time, but I want to go. So then someone said, why don't you get a scholarship?
Mm.
Didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about that. Went through that process, looked at the dates. I still didn't have enough money, still didn't have the time. I was working in a school at the time. And the date of the program was like a few days after I got out of school for the summer. I was like, okay, we're going back to 2013 now. My mom was sick in
Mm.
the hospital. And as I said, they were very not into any of these things. But when you're sick and you're looking the next part of your life square in the face, you start being open to other things. And I said, Mom, I'm thinking of going to yoga school. And she said, Oh, they have the healing hands people here. And that's like Reiki for the hospital. And
Yeah.
she's like, I feel so much better. She goes, I think you should do that. And I'm like, almost fell out of my chair. Like this woman wouldn't let me even go to ShopRite by myself. Now she's like, you should go. So my mom passed 2013. 2014, my dad said, well, how much money do you have? However much you need, I'll give you the rest.
Wow.
What? What?
All
So
your
they went,
obstacles, right? They
yeah,
were just
right,
blowing away.
right. It just almost like speaking about it just like started to open things up for me, open things up. So then I did. I went. I barely had enough to get there on the skin of my teeth. I stopped drinking coffee because I knew you had to pay for coffee every day and I couldn't afford that. And I went to Kripalu and I soaked up every single bit of things that I could soak up. I didn't make a lot of friends because I was there to learn, and
Yeah.
I was there to just be. Um, and that also did something to me. A lot of people have different experiences when they go to yoga school. They have like a emotional breakup. I had processed a lot of stuff before I got there, which I was thankful for. But it was interesting seeing other people's experiences and them move through it and move through it publicly, which I think is so brave and like, excuse me, so badass. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I came out of yoga school and I was working at a gym in Mine Hill at the time, I believe, Mine Hill, New Jersey. And she said, when you get out, you will have your first class here. And I was so excited because I knew I had my first class, $20 whole dollars for the hour in back of a gym with people grunting and throwing weights. And I didn't care. I was just like, you told me I have a class. And that's all I focused on. Uh, and then things just started moving from there. You start going to a studio, you meet other people in a studio, you start to make connections, and then you go to other studios, and then somebody needs a sub. And then that's where you start getting into that. And then you start meeting other people and going to gatherings. And then I got into sound bowls and that all that stuff. And it started to change me. It started to change me even more than I thought it would.
Hmm.
And then stop me whenever you want me to stop me. I just like go like a freight train right here.
Well, could you share a little bit more about how it did change you?
Yes. Um, yeah, I'm gonna share the good, bad, and the ugly. It started to change my thought process. Um, let's say I'd walk in my living room and I'd stub my toe. That stub toe can turn into, oh wow, I'm so stupid. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't even walk. I can't even uh, pay my rent now, and nobody likes me, and my family doesn't talk to me. Blah 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 blah, and that sent me right into this little thing called depression.
Yeah.
And you live like that mentally. But outside, I was everybody's best friend, everybody's whatever. And I saw that self talk was just destroying me. So I did what I think people thought were odd things at the time that made sense to me. I lived by myself. I would take post-it notes and I would put positive phrases on the post-it notes everywhere. Bathroom mirror, you can do this, you can go there, because it's like I literally couldn't say it I had nothing from inside nice to say to myself,
Yeah.
so I would have it come outside in, but still from me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
um and then I would tell people when they came over, I'd be like, well, I told myself I can take them down when I start saying it to myself, like, so I was so committed to it. Like I kept those post-its up when people came over because I was doing something with myself. I
Yeah.
was doing something. I cried a lot, cried a lot. I wrote down a lot of things. I didn't want to hang out with people all the time. Isolating is maybe not the word, but just like uh a loner. Like when you're going through things, sometimes you need space. So I need a lot of space. Um, what else did it look like? Um, can I say it didn't always feel good either going through that? And looking at the post-its, because then I would go back and forth. I'd be like, "You're so silly for having these post-its up. You can't even do anything right now. You got to do post-its." Like I would go backwards almost
Yeah.
with myself, with the good things I would do, and then I'd go to yoga class, and then somebody would say something that would just shift my perspective a little bit, and then I'd be like, "Okay, well, let me try that. Like, let me try maybe approaching a person this way instead of that way." Like almost taking responsibility for situations that I felt like I could put on somebody else. But someone told me one time, like in a relationship, you can only do your 50%, and that other person can do your 50%. So it was almost like I had to make sure I was doing my full 50% before I pointed at somebody else.
Right.
It gave me that sort of perspective. And I have to be honest, it didn't always feel great because it's a process.
Because,
And I had life going on.
that, one of the questions, of course, that I always ask guests is, it's messy, but it's so good. Um, Going through that mess, was just, your shedding. And it is true that we go back and we go forward and it feels like we're going back, but we're really not going back. It's just part of, I guess, our nervous system regulation, what we're learning, what we're absorbing, right? And I loved what you said about, one person saying something. When I'm hearing about you is that you were so open, even though part of you felt like you weren't. Like everything besides being introspective, reflective, doing, using practices and tools, I feel like your heart was really so open to going somewhere. Maybe you didn't know where it was going to be, but you knew that there was light there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I look back at journals and I could be self-deprecating. I think that's the right word. Like just going off on myself. And then in the middle of writing, I'd be like, I know I still have a light on inside somewhere.
yeah.
And it's just like that little tiny inkling of hope, like got me through so much shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I hear
much.
you.
So much.
Yeah, it's the light that we all know we have, and
Yeah.
we are. It's not that we have it, we are. And it's just continuing to reconnect with that. And yeah, sometimes it's very messy, but
Yeah.
as one of my other guests says, shared, but it's also magnificent.
Absolutely. It's what I was walking Max, my dog, this morning, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, how do I describe that mess? Because it was a hot mess. Um, and then sometimes, like when I get to the next level, it's like a hot mess again, but then you clean it up or
Mhm.
whatever. It's like if you're cleaning out your house or you're cleaning just your living room, for me, like I'll like move the tables, I'll take all the stuff off the shelves, right? Like move the plants. And then if you look at the room is a mess. But you're moving towards cleaning it. Like I have to have it be a mess at some point so I can get underneath the things and wipe them and all that. So when I'm ready to put it back or put it in whatever place, because you can't put it back in the same exact place with anything in life. Um, then it's just something new, and then it's a little bit more organized, but it's like that process. Like if anybody's ever put makeup on or whatever, like if you're in the middle of your makeup and you catch somebody, it looks terrible. Like you have to wait. It's like whoa, I got it's a mess now, but like I gotta keep going. And that's like something that I really stick with, like just keep going. Like I can sit down and take a break, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, but it's like eventually I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I feel from, like, one of the questions that I ask my guess is, what's the biggest gift that you've received from your journey? From because it's all passion,
Mhm.
and it's mixed with, of course, spirituality, and it's different for everyone, creativity. But what is the biggest gift that you have received? And I know you've shared a lot of that. But if you could put it into one or two things from your journey
My journey.
and your yoga and your practices.
Um, it's so simple. My breath, breathing deeply. I was someone who experienced panic attacks all the time.
Mm,
And I took yoga. But like really learning to like deepen out your breath um has helped me with that anxiety, um with just slowing down in general, like just like an audible sigh. They call it the Kripalu sigh. Kripalu, it's ridiculously funny. Um, but it really does do something for me. Just that breath and the self-talk. I know I keep saying it, but there's no but. It's just so important. It's everything. I said to a group before, and I said, if our thoughts were on a megaphone, would we have any friends? Would you have the business that you have? Like, think about that. Like, and as we're evolving as a species, I don't know. Some people are getting telepathic. Some things are coming online. That's really important what we're thinking. That affects our energy. That affects everything, the way you walk, the way you talk, everything.
Absolutely.
And um that fake it till you make it thing worked for me for a little bit, but that actual rearranging my mental processes and telling myself nice things, I think that has changed me the most.
Wow. That's so helpful for people listening. Is there a specific way that you could share with the audience that you process that? In other words, is there a way that is like maybe a simple tool that you could
Yeah.
share?
Yeah. I'll go back to the stubbing the toe. Um I stubbed my toe. First thing I said, I'm so stupid. Literally fight with yourself. Say, no, I'm smart. I just stubbed my toe. I made a mistake.
Hmm.
Retell yourself, like go back and say what it is you really want to say or you need to say to yourself. If I look in a mirror, I used to be the person who would put 10 pounds of makeup on because I couldn't leave the house because I was so concerned about what everybody else thought of me. I look in the mirror and I say, all right, this is my face. It's a good enough face. That's it. Or after I go to the bathroom, I wash my hands. The mirror's always there. I would avoid the mirror pretty much at all costs before. I look at myself in the mirror and I say, good job, Allison. Good job, what? Good job washing my hands. Good job. Good job taking care of yourself. Good job looking in the mirror. Good job saying good job. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Say something nice to yourself and it will just continue
Yeah.
to it will take over because the negative everybody knows the negative thoughts take over, right? The stub your toe, somehow you're on the floor crying for 3 weeks over a stubbed toe and something that happened 15 years ago. We can reverse that. It
Yeah.
is it's a
Yeah.
practice.
It's the habit patterns that we develop, even as you are releasing some of the energy and stuck energy and negative thoughts and negative beliefs and all that. It's so easy to go back to those thoughts because it's those patterns that develop since we're kids. And I love that because it's so simple to just keep. It's not that you're just, making the pig pink and just overriding everything with a positive thought, but you're doing the work, but it's kind of catching that pattern and then in the
Yes.
moment just realigning, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. It's
I love,
creating new grooves in your brain.
yeah,
Like, when you walk on snow and you create the path, it's like the first time you walk on the path, it's kinda hard. So you tell yourself, "I like myself, I'm nice, I'm committed, I'm grounded," but it's, like, kinda hard. But by the 15th time you've walked through that snow, that path's already created. So that's what we're doing with our
yeah,
brains.
yeah,
You're rewiring your brains. We
yeah.
can do this.
Neuroplasticity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that it's so simple with either you can write it, you can speak it out loud. And if you're in a space where you can't speak it out loud and you can't write it, I understand that. I lived in a very strict space where everything was public. Um, just that silently say it in the mirror. Say it in the car while you're driving by yourself. Don't worry about that guy that cut you off. Worry about what are you actually saying? How do you actually feel? Like, just bring the focus back. Another thing I do is bring the focus back to me. If I see something out of corner of my eyes, I'm like, oh wow, look at those shoes. And I I bring myself back and I'm like, Allison, why? I say to myself, why? Look at yourself. What do your shoes look like? What can you work on with yourself? Like, I'll just bring the attention back to myself because I'm sure there's something I need to work on and leave those shoes alone. Like, they say if you're really focused on yourself and doing everything you're supposed to do, you don't have time to even know what's going on with other people, right? The same with the drinking. They say if you drink enough water, all the water you're supposed to do, you'll be in the bathroom all day. You don't have time to do anything else with this day.
Oh, this is also good. Thank you. Thank you. So what are you up to now? Can you share a little bit about where you're at right now with your business and what you're developing?
100%. So Alignment 17, my company, is yoga, meditation, chair yoga, whether it's corporate chair yoga, like chair yoga can be pretty rigorous, or gentle chair yoga, which I share with my seniors and things like that. I also have someone who does sound bowls on my team, Reiki on the team, and just talking to businesses that want this for their clients, whether they're seniors, whether it's the staff too, because I'm connecting with the staff as well. And they're like, oh, wow, this is that 35 minutes of something completely changes their day. So inviting spaces that usually aren't open to this practice to be open to this practice.
Hmm.
Which means you have to like give it to them a certain way, right? Like almost like going back to me. Like you can't start off with saying Om back then with me. I would walk right out of the room. Now I'll Om all day long with everybody. That's not the point. But but it's just giving people like the flavor or the style that's gonna appeal to them. So you can plant the seed and then they can do whatever they need to move on. Like it's changed my life so much. I just would like everyone to see what it can do for them. And it may not be the same way for me, but just that seed, that opening, that a little bit of change of perspective. If we can bring that to businesses, if we can bring that to, I don't know, everybody, that'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great. Because it brings you to a different vibration and people want to be successful, whether it's with a conversation or with getting $1 million. Feeling better about yourself, I think, is going to help you get there.
absolutely. And I think, with companies and hospitals and so forth, retention is such an issue. I mean, losing people. And why do people leave? Because they don't feel valued, usually. Not make it could be monetary and emotionally. So just having programs such as that really values the employee and it helps with burnout,
Oh my goodness, yes.
compassion fatigue, and so forth, which you can have, in all different types of businesses dealing with people.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I think that's wonderful. And it touches my heart because I am a nurse and I've come from that, holistic perspective and had opportunities. And it had been challenging, but I see such a growth in that area right now. Um,
Me too.
yeah,
Me even the sound. Like I'm gonna say in a couple hospitals I saw they already had sound bowls and gongs and then they had all of like why it was working and why it was, and I was like, go ahead, hospitals, good job. Like
yeah,
yes, like that's what I want to see. I also am working on another project. I'm writing a book. Yeah, I've always wanted to, because like I said, I always knew I was kind of different, even within the kind of Jehovah's Witness world. Like I was different, and that's okay. I own it now. I own it. And I working with a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman, Maria Blon, and she planted that seed that I could really do this and that it is useful, what I have to say, and it could help other people. And I just needed that one person to tell me that, quite frankly, because I was kind of nervous about it. Um, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's do this because, like I said, I kept it light here, but like life gets like ugly looking sometimes, messy, dirty, disgusting for me in some areas. And I'm thinking maybe that's the piece that's missing. Like, not everything always looks so light and love, especially like in the, wellness world. Like, we're all about that. But like, no, let people know it's messy, it's ugly, it's sometimes you don't like it. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it right, though.
That's right.
You got to keep going. So I think more of that perspective, like actually telling people like what you went through to move on, I think is better than, hey, I'm a millionaire and I just wake up happy every day and no work at all. And I'm like, oh, wow, can't listen to that. That's not even real.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you,
So my book is about that, telling your story fully and allowing yourself to be yourself and accepting who you are. And then that will help you get to wherever you're going.
yeah, it's fantastic. Maria actually was a guest on our podcast, and she's
Oh,
awesome.
shit. Yeah, I think you interviewed another friend of mine, Tim Archulo.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. He has also helped me on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very thankful for all of my mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Calawar, sorry, just one more.
I haven't interviewed her yet.
Oh, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. Yeah. And all these people, because they also shared the realness of their lives with me. So it made me feel like, okay, thank you. Okay. This
Right.
is how it is.
Right.
Like, I'm not messing up because I feel like X, Y, and Z is happening. X, Y, and Z just happens to people.
Yes. That's life.
That's life.
I really appreciate you sharing so authentically and deeply, and I think it's going to be very helpful and inspiring to people because it's easy, as we discuss, to go back into the shame and kind of stay there for a really long time.
Yes.
And the tool,
Swim in it.
yeah,
Oh, it's like swimming in a cesspool. Get out.
yeah,
There's no point. Yep. And then when you get back in, just get back out again. It's literally like that. Like, oh, I'm here again. Yeah, you're here again. Just, you know how you got out of it last time? Start swimming that way. Maybe you got to do it a little different this time.
yeah,
Just,
yeah. And then we just meet people when we're open to that, as you shared, just connect us to different perspectives. I'm just curious, when you shared in the beginning of the interview, you shared about this woman that you channeled with the long gray hair. Have you spoken to her again, or was she just there to kind of open things up for you?
um, I've seen her maybe twice
Mm,
since that. Because I believe I did close the door like majorly on that. I think we do that. Um, no, I have to keep it real. But as I keep saying evolving because I believe I am because I just keep changing. Um, I'm having more intuitive encounters and just noticing certain things. And I did actually connect with a psychic. And one of the first things she said when she saw me, she's like, "Oh my goodness, you're just like me. What are you doing?" Like you could do what I could do. And I'm like, ooh, coming from my background. I'm like, oh wow. Do I want to open that door? But it's like that door's already there for me.
yeah.
Um, so I have connected with my spirit guide. I believe her name is Rose, because just the theme just kept coming up. Roses, roses, like roses, like that wouldn't even be someplace, or somebody's name is Roses. And I was just like, I think I think this is somebody trying to connect with me. And then when I spoke to Kathy Taylor, her name is, and she's helping me with my mentor, and she confirmed, she's like, yeah, yeah. So there is something else going on. I'm not sure where that's going to take me. I'm not 100% running towards it, because it's not how it works anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to be continued, that answer. We'll see. Maybe that is Rose. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, it was definitely an opening for you. So whatever it was, part of your journey. So
It is. Yes, yes, yes.
well, how can people get in touch with you, Alison?
Oh, you can always send me an email. Alison Pandora, Alison, all Alison, Pandora, like the box. One of everything with my name. I say my personality's enough. Al is on. That's how you spell it. So you can send me an email. I'm on Instagram, Alison Pandora. I'll leave my phone number, my business phone number, with you if you'd like.
Sure, I can put
Uh,
it in the show notes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And
And
you have
yeah,
YouTube. You have a YouTube channel,
I
right?
do have a YouTube channel too. It's Alison Pandora with a couple numbers behind it, but like that's me. I think it's
Okay, I'll put it in the
7714
show
maybe.
notes. Perfect, perfect. Is there anything else you want to share before we close for today?
Yes. Um, if you are new to anything like yoga or meditation or anything like that, and you're hesitant about it, there's this wonderful thing called YouTube these days. Type in literally yoga in your bed, 5 minutes, yoga in a chair, 2 minutes, meditation, 30 seconds. Start small, bite sized pieces. It's like going through TV channels. Just find something that resonates with you. And if you do something and you're like, I don't like this, that's fine. There's 1,500 more things that you can look through, and like a TV show, you're going to find one that you like. So please just be open, try it. Times are different, life is changing. So try it out.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Allison. I really appreciate you sharing so many beautiful practices and your story. So thanks for being here.
Oh, Fran, thanks for having me. I really am thankful for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for listening to another episode of It's Messy, but It's So Good. And I want to thank my guest today, Alison Pandora. Some of the podcast highlights included Alison reflecting on her early religious upbringing that kept her from yoga and meditation, but due to some transformative experiences, it led her to embrace these practices and led her to actually growing a business called Alignment 17, where she shares yoga and wellness practices such as meditation to seniors and corporations. And she's excited about making these practices accessible to new audiences. Also, Alison shared a lot about how she was able to transform her anxiety with mindfulness, including positive self-talk, journaling, and breath work. And it helped to quiet her inner critic. So if you'd like to reach out to Alison, and I think she would be a wonderful addition to any corporation or business that's looking to expand wellness practices, you can reach her on Instagram, YouTube, at her email at alisonpandora@gmail.com, and her business phone number. And you can reach her through the show notes. All of the contact information is listed there. So again, thank you so much, Alison, and thank you to all the listeners. And I just was hoping that if you enjoy the show, you can pass it on and share with your friends and family that you think might benefit, and follow us. We would so appreciate it. Okay, see you next time.